Hi, you are watching SightsIn Plus, and this is Romesh Shivas. Please to subscribe the channel for the HR news, for HR updates and conversation with the top-notch CHROs, thought leaders, and business heads. Today, we are going to discuss skills gap in India in 2024, and we will also try to understand. We will try to explore that how we can bridge the skills gap. Joining us, Mr. Surya Prakash Mohapatra, he is the head talent skilling at Wipro Enterprise Futuring, and Ms. Shivani Malhotra is a partner and managing director at Positive Vibes Consulting, and she is also mentor of change at Atal Innovation Mission at NITI Aayog. Welcome both of you to SightsIn Plus.
Thank you, Ramesh, for inviting us.
Surya, if I share a couple of data with you, so recently economic survey 2024, if you look at, so the demography is like that 65% of India's population is under 35. And if you look at the youth, so around 51.25% youth are considered employable, but 48.75% youth are not at readily employable. They need some skill development program. They need some help here. How do you see this data, and how do you see the skills gap across the industries in India currently?
I think the skill gaps today has reached alarming levels in India. There's definitely a matter of concern. I think the statistics that you have shared are real. These are real challenges today. And while we say that we have 1.4 billion people, we have a large population. The question is, this population can, instead of becoming a demographic dividend, it can become a demographic burden if you don't find opportunities for people. So we have a huge population, a large young population, but they're not employable, as you said. So we have a challenge. India's GDP could soar up by 20% if you can add 100 million skilled workers to its workforce. So essentially, what does it mean? It means that while we are on a growth path, we are on our journey to become an economic superpower. The major obstacle in this journey is going to be the skills gap. And 100 million skilled workers is no joke. I mean, it will not happen just like that without an effort. So I see this as a problem, as a real challenge. And since I come from the IT industry, I see that as a big challenge. NASSCOM has estimated a shortfall of about 600,000 IT professionals. So that's a big one. And we see largely in our sector, especially in data science, in artificial intelligence and cybersecurity, these are the areas where we see a major skill gap today. If I talk about the broader industry, of course, apart from IT, we see demand in healthcare, pharma, and so on. So we definitely have a challenge. Of course, probably in the course of our discussion today, we'll talk about solutions. But definitely, it is a challenge. India is one of the top 3 countries which is facing the greatest skill shortages today. And some of the surveys have already said that 75% of India's graduates are unemployable. And in organizations, we are saying that 52% of employees need to reskill themselves. So I see this as a challenge. Our large population is an opportunity, but we will lose that opportunity if we don't skill them. Our journey towards becoming an economic superpower will definitely be will receive a big blow. I think we have a big task on hand to bridge the skill gap.
Absolutely. And Shivani, how do you see you walk, across the industry? And there is also little relief if you look at the another part of data. So there is improvement, which was if you compare with the last decade. So earlier it was 34%. Now it is 51.3, you can say 51.25% youth, they are considered the employable. So little relief is this is the improvement area. And if you look at the women participation, so that has also increased from 24.5% to 37% in last year 2023. What is your take on this, Shivani?
I think very good points put forth by Surya. Thank you for setting the context so beautifully, Surya. I totally resonate with you. The skill gap is a reality. And India, being the third largest economy and having a talent shortage is something that we all need to ponder on, because, on one side, the economy is doing really well. We are, progressing towards a better tomorrow, which is a good thing. But at the same time, we do not have enough, talent, skilled talent. When I say talent, I mean to say the relevant talent which is required for the kind of industries or for the kind of sectors that we are booming in. So the skill gap is a critical issue, and since like Ramesh, you mentioned, I work across industries. I find that there is a lot of difficulty today. The HR professionals are having a nightmare to actually hire in a few industries, because there is so much of shortage of talent, good talent. And primarily these industries are technology, which is IT. Surya mentioned that, manufacturing, healthcare, and retail. Because in these sectors, there is so much, a rapid advancement in the technology, automation, and the business models are so changing at such a fast pace that it is really creating a disconnect between what is available in the market as talent and what is required to do these jobs, the skills required to do these jobs. So particularly, like Surya also mentioned, the IT sector. Now, despite producing millions of engineering graduates each year, only about 2.5% of them possess the necessary skills. And this is, according to a study by NASSCOM. Now, imagine we have millions of engineering graduates. We have so many engineering institutes in the country, but we have only 2.5% of that population actually possesses the skills. And what does this tell us? This tells us that this explains the reason behind the massive unemployment that exists in our country, because clearly there is a gap between what is being churned out and in terms of the talent, and what the requirement, the real requirement is in companies. And the same thing with the with manufacturing sector. Now, India's manufacturing sector is moving towards what we say industry 4.0, but there is a notable gap again in areas of automation, data analytics, robotics, and there are automotive companies that are facing again a very, very serious shortage of skill gap. So I know during the course of the discussion, we'll come to some of the good things that are being done to bridge the skill gap, but definitely it is the reality. And I'm glad we are talking about it today, Ramesh.
Right. Shivani, one article was very popular by the Times of India that TCS is not able to close around 80,000 of the positions because of the skills gap. And I think it was published in last month or so. So if you look at similarly, TCS has around 6 lakh plus employees. So if we take it, so that would be around 13%. So if we also consider other the major IT companies in India, that may be the Accenture, that may be Wipro, that may be SCL Tech, Infosys. So Accenture, that may having around 35,000 positions, even if we take the 10% of that average part. Wipro, that may having around 25,000 positions, they are not able to close because of the skill gap. SCL Tech similarly may also have 25,000 positions. Infosys may also have around 35,000 positions. Cognizant around 25,000 positions, Capgemini 25,000 positions. If you consolidate only for these around 7 companies, so 2.5 lakh to 3 lakh positions are still vacant because they're not finding the right talent for these positions. And I'm talking about only these 6, 7 companies, and there are n number of IT companies. So lakhs of positions in IT industry are there pending, and they are not finding the right candidate. They are outsourcing these positions or doing something else.
Yeah.
What is your take on this?
See, you pointed out a very good statistic. I'm glad you have those numbers with you, Romesh. And you talk to any HR professional who's working in the IT company, and specifically somebody who's responsible for hiring. They will tell you that this is the reality. And it's not just that there is. Because there is shortage, of course, there is shortage of talent in the market. So you have one candidate and the same candidate, and if you have a good candidate, they have 7 different jobs. Now obviously they cannot join at 7 different times, and hence this entire trouble, this entire problem of not being able to close positions happens. But having said that, I do know of some initiatives that are being taken specifically by IT companies. See, it's like when you have a problem at hand and that problem is impacting your business, you will do all that it takes to at least start solving that problem. So, in fact, talking about TCS only, since you mentioned TCS, they have a very good reskilling initiative called Ignio. They have a platform which is called Ignio, and it's a beautiful platform which offers training in AI, ML, cloud computing for employees. And the idea is that they want to support their employees in continuous upskilling. So this is how probably they are tackling with that challenge of. But they still, despite this, they still report challenges in hiring skilled professionals. Similarly, in the manufacturing sector, like I spoke about, auto tech company or auto companies. Now, Maruti Suzuki, we all know that it's the market leader in India. That company has partnered with the Automotive Skill Development Council, which is ASDC, and it has launched several in-house training programs to bridge this gap. Particularly in R&D, in production factories. So while it is a challenge, to hire competent talent, so companies are doing whatever they can. So many companies have set up incubation centers. The reason is this only, that if we are not getting talent from outside, the talent that we want, then let us invest and try and match the skills that we are getting from the market to what we really need in our company. So that's my 2 cents
Surya,
on
I'm
this.
curious to know your views on this.
I think Shivani has kind of touched upon very important points. And I think the challenge today is not just to skill, but to skill our workforce as well as our youth at scale and at speed. I think these two things are important. So what probably we need today is better collaboration between all the stakeholders, as Shivani talked about. And in my opinion, the stakeholders are academia, academic institutions, corporates, government, industry bodies like NASSCOM and CII, training partners, skilling partners, digital skilling partners, like we have the Udemy's and Coursera, and we have Swayam, we have the Skill India platform, and there are a number of platforms like that. Again, students, employees, and when we say students, also the parents. I think these are the stakeholders, right? So we need to build awareness. We need to drive the right mindset. Even today, many parents believe parents force their children to learn what they want them to learn. That has to change. They have to really create that space for their children so that they can choose their career path. There are mindsets that only women can do certain jobs, men can do certain jobs. The reason why introduction of vocational education in our mainstream education has not been very successful because many think that they cannot do such jobs. Whether it is welding, so why should I learn welding in my college or school curriculum? I'm not going to do that, right? Whether you do that or not, it's a different matter, but you will appreciate somebody who is doing that job when you learn it yourself. So I think there has to be a mindset shift that has to happen. We need to have the right ecosystem. We need to have collaboration between the stakeholders. And then we need to leverage technology to enable, skilling at scale and at speed. That's how I look at it.
Right, right. I think we all are agree that there's a skills gap across the industries and across the sectors. So that may be technology, that may be manufacturing, that may be finance, that may be healthcare. So across all the sectors, there's a skill gap. But there is one more question, that is the skill gap only with the technical skills, or there is also the skill gap with the soft skills? How do you see this?
I would say both. It's not just restricted to technical skills or domain skills, or sector specific skills, but definitely there's a gap in soft skills as well. And some of the skills that I would call out would be critical thinking, problem solving and decision making, working in teams, um, intercultural, etiquette. So these are some of the skills I think definitely we see a gap. Even communication skills, that's still a problem. So many of these young graduates who come from tier 2, tier 3 cities and towns in the country, there is a communication skills problem. So yeah, my response would be it's both. There is a gap in hard skills as well as soft skills.
Correct, correct. And Shivani, what is your take on this? And now we will also try to explore that what are the reasons of these skill gap. What is your take on this, Shivani?
So, Romesh, being a soft skills trainer myself, I can vouch for the fact that maximum number of my clients are from the ITS industry. And what Surya has said is very right. See, while you have very good people with hard skills such as the technical skills, and in my training programs I have seen this, that excellent brilliant minds, they have a lot of good ideas, but they struggle to articulate those ideas, and those ideas don't end up coming to the table. So that is where the softer skills come in: articulation, communication, emotional intelligence, leadership. You may be a great professional, but are you a good leader? That's a different skill set altogether. So definitely there is a shortage of soft skills in the industry as well. And it's not just IT. I just mentioned one sector, but this problem remains in almost all the sectors where there is a need for upskilling, not only in the skills, but not only in the hard skills, but also a continuous upgradation and improvement in the softer skills. And that is why if you see the companies, that have institutionalized their internal, reskilling programs, they don't just have, modules around AI or automation or, the technical topics. They also have a good blend of soft skills programs like emotional intelligence, like critical thinking, like communication and articulation, conflict resolution, leadership. So this is the reason is that they do see that while there is one gap that is existing in terms of the rapidly changing technological upgradation that is required, but at the same time there is also a need for soft skills. Yeah.
Surya, how do you see that? What may be the reasons behind these skills gap across the industry?
Three primary reasons. One is our education, the curriculum in our educational institutions definitely are outdated. They're not, I will not say they're not up to the mark, but they're not keeping pace with the change in the industry. So that's definitely a gap. But that's definitely a primary reason why we see a skill gap, and then the graduates, the youngsters who are graduating from these colleges and universities are not employable. The second reason probably would be rapid changes in technology. So technology changing so fast. In IT industry, the skill life cycle is 6 months. So every 6 months, one can become obsolete, can become outdated, unless somebody changes, unless somebody upgrades, one's skills and knowledge. And the third reason probably would be our ability or inability to upskill and reskill and cross-skill people at scale and at speed. So I would probably call out these three are the primary reasons why we have a skill gap.
And just to add on to what Surya has said, I think education definitely at the grassroots levels needs to change, because we are churning, like I said in the, initially in the first part of my, interaction here, I said that what we are churning out as talent is actually not able to meet the requirements of different companies. So whatever skills are being imparted to students at a grassroots level are definitely not the skills that they would be using. And I'll be very honest that I myself, what skills I learned in my college and my even in my school, I hardly use that while I'm working, and I'm talking about the technical skills. And there was no concept of soft skills during our times, but it's good that the government is doing work around it. There is the NEP, the National Education Policy, that was introduced in 2020, and slowly it is being implemented. I work with a lot of education institutions also, so I see that visible change happening at the school level as well, wherein life skills like critical thinking and problem solving, emotional intelligence, technical skills like AI, automation, data science, all of that is being imparted. At least that movement has started. I would also say that one of the reasons is also, the lack of cohesion between industry and academia. While colleges do make an effort at when why they make an effort at maybe a graduate level or a postgraduate level to sort of get some industry experts, but I think that needs to really change. And I feel one of the ways to do it is that the curriculum that is formed at the beginning of any course should have not just academicians, but it should have people from the industry as well, so that there is there is a good blend of the skills that are actually required at the end of the 4 years when the student passes out. So I think that's a very big gap, because of which this talent shortage is there. And I also feel that one more thing I feel is that maybe there is good talent that we have, but that talent ends up going out of our country. So that is a reality. We have very capable people not choosing to stay here and wanting to make their careers, in the West, and other countries as well. So that is another area that definitely needs to be looked into, because if we are not valuing our own talent, if you're not paying them as as they are being paid in the other parts of the world, they will definitely fly off. So I think these are the reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I think both of you have highlighted a couple of reasons that why there's a skills gap. And you have also highlighted that lack of the skill development program. That is also one of the reasons. And there's the one data by the National Sample Survey Organization. And according to this, only 2.7% of India's workforce has received formal training. And compared if you compare to the like United States, then 52%, in Japan 80%, and 96% in South Korea. So 2.7%, I think it stands nowhere. So there's need to emphasize to work on skill development programs. Recently, the government has also taken a couple of steps. They started some ideas with the budget 2024 and 2025 with some internship program and some skill development program. How do you see what is going to be the impact of these programs, and when we can see there will be impact, there will be some significance on the skill gaps?
I think the new education policy is pragmatic, and we see a lot of provisions for industry academia collaboration. Now, university curriculum has provision for credit courses or credits coming through any learning that comes out of a industry collaboration. So a university or college can introduce some programs in their curriculum, which will be enabled by an organization, um, and and the students will get credit for completing those courses. And also, institutions are coming together, like the IITs and ISCs are coming together, and they have said that there is an open curriculum, so you can complete a few modules with IIT, and then IISc will accept the credits that you have gained out of IIT, and then you can probably continue from where you have left off in the IIT. We need to get more specifics around that, but I think it is becoming more seamless, more pragmatic collaboration between different stakeholders in the country. um, Democratization of learning is absolutely important, and the government is trying to do that. I think with Skill India and all these MOOCs and other apps being available, the opportunity that we have today, I personally believe 90% of our people, or 90% of our youth, employable people, have access to mobile phones. So nobody can complain that learning is not available. One doesn't have to walk into a university or a college to learn. Now learning can, content will find you. You don't have to find content, right? With uh, all these learning management systems which are enabled by AI today, like Netflix suggests what movie or series you may be interested in. Some of these platforms will suggest people that you may be interested in this learning course. Given your background and experience, you should look at this particular skill and this particular course, which will probably augment your career. I think a lot of democratization has started happening. I think a lot of positive things are happening in that direction. And also, not just our workforce. What about the workforce already inside the organizations? With the advancement of technology, the workforce also becoming obsolete, right? So smart organizations invest a lot in upskilling their people, uh, where people are actually, where their roles are becoming obsolete. So they're upskilling them or cross-skilling them for new skills. Where the roles are getting repurposed, they're actually upskilling them. And where they see that they don't have an opportunity within the organization because such skills are not required anymore, or the people don't have the relevant skills, so they're outskilling them for opportunities outside the organization. I think organizations have a responsibility for their people. They have to upskill, cross skill, reskill, or outskill if they don't have opportunities within the organization. I think all these good things are happening. We'll have to bring in more seriousness, more speed, and there has to be more tighter and more seamless collaboration between all these important stakeholders to make this happen at a national level, across geographies, across states, so that we reach the last mile.
Right. Shivani, Surya has shared a couple of ideas, which are very nice ideas for how we can bridge the skills gap. So quickly, if you can share that, how we can bridge the gap with your experience.
A lot of points have been shared here, but re-emphasizing on the grassroots level, which is the schools and colleges. So for fresh talent, definitely the curriculum needs to be modernized, and it needs to be modernized with future-ready skills. There is no other way to equip this generation which is going to come into the workforce in the next 4 to 5 years. There is absolutely no way that we can make them ready for the future without imparting these skills. So definitely, NEP is a good start to it, but it needs to be definitely done in a little more, I would say, a stringent way. Also, I feel that the learning has to the learning has to be digital, and more e-learning platforms need to be available at the grassroots level. Now, what happens is that people in colleges, they do have access to learning systems, but are they really making use of it? And that question stays even for the people working in an organization. Now, I have a laptop, I have everything that is available with me. Do I go on to any of the online courses? And do I do it? And how does my organization support that? Now, there are organizations that we work with who have mandated that, in case you want to go to the next level, if you want to get a promotion, you have to go through these three skill development courses, be a combination of hard skills, soft skills, and then only you will be elevated to the next level. So that is the kind of seriousness that's required. And it's a beautiful linkage between your upskilling and your upliftment in the organization as well. So, so corporates are doing, are taking steps like that. And I also feel, like I said earlier, that, this kind of skill gap at a campus level can be bridged very easily and very beautifully if there are more industry experts
Great.
who are
I think
involved.
very insightful discussion, and I'm glad that government has taken a couple of initiatives for the skill development and some new announcement with the budget, and they are putting some investment on this. So that is a great initiative by the government. Thank you so much, Surya and Shivani, for joining the conversation and sharing your wonderful thoughts. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ramesh. Thank you, Shivani.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure, Ramesh. Thank you, Surya.